Leo stood by his window, looking out at the city. Tomorrow, he would marry the love of his life. His heart was light, filled with joy. As he thought about the wedding, a smile crept onto his face. Everything was perfect. He had met Emily 3 years ago. From the first moment, he knew she was the one. They had faced ups and downs, but their love only grew stronger. Now they were ready to start a new chapter together. Leo felt a mix of excitement and nerves. It was the eve of his wedding, and he couldn't wait. Tonight was his stag party. His friends had planned everything. They promised it would be a night to remember. Leo was looking forward to it, but his mind was already on tomorrow. He wanted everything to go smoothly for Emily. His best man, Mike, called to say they were ready. Leo took one last look in the mirror, straightened his tie, and headed out. He had no idea that this night would change everything. The party was in full swing when Leo arrived. Music blared, lights flashed, and laughter filled the air. His friends greeted him with cheers and handed him a drink. Leo felt the energy of the night. It was wild, carefree, and a little chaotic. Mike had outdone himself. There were games, drinks, and even a surprise. That surprise was a stripper. She was stunning, with dark eyes that seemed to see right through him. She moved with a grace that was almost otherworldly. Leo was hesitant at first, but as the night went on, the drinks kept coming, and his friends egged him on. He let go of his reservations. He ended up alone with her. Her name was Esmeralda. She had a mysterious aura, something enchanting but unsettling. In a moment of weakness, Leo succumbed. He would regret it forever. As they parted, Esmeralda whispered something strange, a language he didn't understand. She smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. Leo felt a shiver run down his spine. The next morning, Leo woke up with a pounding headache. He reached for his phone, but his hand looked different, smaller. He looked down and saw a child's body. Panic surged through him. He ran to the mirror. The reflection showed a 10-year-old boy. His mind raced. How could this be? He tried to shout, but his voice was high-pitched, childlike. He remembered Esmeralda's cryptic words. A curse. She must have cursed him. Leo's heart pounded in his chest. He had to find a way to fix this. He tried calling Mike, but his phone was locked. His face didn't match the recognition. Frustrated, he threw the phone down. He had to see his mother. She would believe him. She had to. Leo grabbed some clothes, which were now too big, and rushed out. The streets looked different from down below. Everything was bigger, more intimidating. Leo felt alone, scared. He needed his mother's help. As he ran, he tried to think of what to say. How could he explain this? He had no proof, only his word. Leo reached his mother's house, breathless. He knocked on the door, hoping she was home. When she opened it, she looked down at him, puzzled.
Can I help you?
Leo's heart sank. How could he make her believe?
Mom, it's me, Leo.
He said, trying to keep his voice steady. Her eyes widened in disbelief.
This isn't funny.
Leo pleaded with her, telling her things only he would know. Memories of their life, secrets they shared. Slowly, she began to listen. Her face softened, turning to concern. She invited him in and they talked. Leo explained everything. The stag party, Esmeralda, the curse. It sounded insane, but his mother could see the truth in his eyes. She hugged him, tears streaming down her face.
We'll fix this.
She promised. Together, they started looking for answers. They needed to find Esmeralda. Leo's wedding was in a few hours, and time was running out. As they searched for Esmeralda, Leo's phone rang. It was Mike. Leo's heart leapt. Maybe they found something. But Mike's voice was frantic when she spoke to Leo's mother. Emily had been in a car accident. She was in a coma. Leo felt the world collapse around him as he overheard the conversation. He needed to get to the hospital. His mother grabbed her keys and they rushed out. Leo's mind was a whirlwind of fear and guilt. He had to see Emily, to be there for her. He couldn't lose her, not like this. The drive felt endless. Leo's mother tried to comfort him, but he could barely hear her. His thoughts were consumed with Emily. He prayed she would be okay. As they neared the hospital, Leo felt a strange sense of urgency. He had to do something. He couldn't just sit and wait. The curse had brought him to this point. Maybe there was a way to break it. He just needed to figure out how. They arrived at the hospital and Leo ran inside. His mother followed closely. They found her doctor.
She's stable, but it's serious.
He told them. Leo felt a helpless rage. He needed to see her. They entered the room. Emily lay there, pale and still. Leo's heart ached. He reached out and took her hand. It was warm, but she didn't move. He leaned in close, whispering her name, begging her to wake up. As he held her hand, something strange happened. He felt a warmth spread through him. A memory of Esmeralda's smile flashed in his mind. A kiss. The curse. Maybe that was it. Maybe a kiss could undo the curse. Leo looked at his mother. She nodded, understanding. Perhaps her mind went to various fairy tale stories as well. He leaned over Emily, his heart pounding. He kissed her gently on the lips, hoping, praying. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, he felt a rush of energy. The room seemed to glow. Leo felt himself changing, growing. His mother gasped, and the doctor stepped back in shock. Leo looked down and saw his hands, his body, returning to normal. He was himself again, the swimming trunks barely fitting around his waist. Emily stirred, her eyes fluttering open. She looked up at Leo, confusion turning to recognition.
Leo?
She whispered, tears filled Leo's eyes.
I'm here.
He said, his voice choked with emotion. Emily smiled weakly, squeezing his hand. The curse was broken. Leo was back, and Emily was awake. They held each other, the nightmare finally over. Leo thanked his mother, his heart full of gratitude. They all stood together, a family stronger than before. Leo knew he had a second chance. He wouldn't waste it. He and Emily would get married, just as they planned. But now, their love was even deeper, forged in the fires of a wild, unforgettable journey.